Hey everyone, it is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and it is February 20th. So I am playing along with Sandy, who is doing a Follow a Sketch February. And the sketch that she has picked out for us today is from Felt Magnet. So you can see it up there in the upper hand corner. And I am using my How to Kill a Kit with Style. Now I'm running a little low on papers. So what I decided to do was to take one 12 by 12 paper from my kit, use it as the inspiration, and then dig through my loose pattern papers and pull out a few more. So I actually grabbed this lemon paper, and so I went through my stash and I found another yellow paper. Now it's a little lighter, but the lemons have variations of yellow in it. So I figure it's going to work out great. So I'm going to use that as the border for my layout that you see in the sketch. And I'm going to use the lemon paper as the main background. So I did go ahead and got that yellow paper because I am going to use it again. And then I trimmed down the lemons, distressed the edges, and went ahead and adhered it to the yellow paper. So now I am going to work on that big chunk of paper to the right. So I have this paper, which actually is a Vicki Boutin paper as well. I think when Tuesday Morning had like a pack of 25, I purchased it. I figured it was a pretty good green, and it has that kind of chevron-y paper on the back. So I have used it a couple of times, and I felt like it was a pretty good match to the leaves on the lemon paper. So I went ahead and trimmed that down. I did go ahead and distress the edges as well. And then I took a piece of that background yellow paper. I'm going to trim that down and use that for the other. Now, this sketch calls for one big photo, and I knew that I wasn't going to use one big photo. I don't think that I have currently any big photos to scrapbook. I may find some later, but as of right now, I don't have any. So I knew I was going to do 2 4x6 photos to make that big photo, right? And originally when I was looking at this sketch, because my photos are portrait, I thought, oh, well, I'll just turn the sketch. Well, that was how my brain was functioning. And then when it came time to actually put the layout together, my brain said, okay, you have these many pieces of paper that you need to put together, and this is how they're supposed to go according to the sketch. So my brain was like, okay, do all the paper piecing for the background with all the layers and everything, then go ahead and add your photos. So by this time, I had already glued everything down, knowing or forgetting basically that I was going to turn the sketch. But I think it works just the same. I don't think it's too much different. Now, the branding strip from that green paper is what I decided to use for that little strip that goes all the way from one section to the other. So to map my photos, I am using some white tissue paper. And when I put it on, I didn't realize that it was kind of torn at an angle up. So I just decided to embrace that fact and decided to finish tearing the bottom of the tissue paper. So I'm going to adhere my photos with some just kind of easy tear tape. And the reason I do that is because, I don't know, maybe I'm a little aggressive with my tape runner, or maybe my tape runner is hungry and likes to eat it. I'm not sure. Either way, a lot of the time when I use a tape runner on tissue paper, it tears it. And so I didn't want that to happen. So the Easy Tear tape works pretty good for that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my photos down, and there is a large circular element in the background. So when I think large circular element, I usually think of doilies. And so I had this doily. This doily is already cut in half, so I'm just going to use it as it is. I do have more of them, so it's not like I couldn't have used a whole one, but you weren't going to see it anyway, so I felt like it didn't matter. Now, these I actually picked up at the grocery store in like I think it's in like the tea and coffee aisle. They were just kind of hanging out there. So that's where those doilies came from. They actually have little roses on them. They are pretty cute. So I went through all of my embellishments and pulled everything that I thought maybe had something on it that I could use, put it over to the side. I knew that the Where To Next ephemera pack had this cute little cocktail drink, so I knew I had to get that. The pictures are of our morning mimosas. So this trip actually was a work trip for my husband, not necessarily a work trip for me. So they did provide breakfast with mimosas, but as you can see, he is on his phone working. I was not. I did take a picture of my mimosa at breakfast facing the other way, but then I had this picture of my mimosa that I used. I was sitting in the water. I was like, okay, so this is how he has his mimosa. This is how I'm having my mimosa. So that's going to kind of be the journaling. So that's why I used the title, The Ocean is Calling Today, and that's from 2 different packs. I also have a little chipboard piece on the bottom that says, Life is better when you're laughing. I did embellish the upper left-hand corner with a little sun, and I figured another umbrella. Not that our drinks had umbrellas in them. Actually, I think we might have had some that did, but these ones did not. And then a banner that says document. Here I am pulling one of those Cocoa Vanilla Puffy Hearts. I'm going to put that by my little cocktail. And then I felt like by the title just needed something else. Like it just felt like it was lacking. So I found that big floral and the colors work perfect. I was super happy and it snuggled right in there pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing everything down. I did add a couple of other hearts. So I have the Cocoa Vanilla one. Then I have kind of a foam one from that Simple Stories collection that the part of that title that today came from. So that is on there. And then you can see up in the left-hand corner underneath the sketch, I have the Where To Next Puffy hearts and stars and circles. And I'm just going to add a few more hearts on there. Yeah, and that's going to do it. So make sure you check out the description box below. I will have all of the links needed for Follow a Sketch February. And I think that's going to do it for me today. So this little bit longer video, well, I guess it's about average. So a couple of close-ups there for you, and then the final layout again. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. I love to chat with you. And remember to wear your crown. And I will see you tomorrow for another sketch. Bye.